Michael Shvo, where would you invest money at the moment in the world?
It's a big question. Depends really what you're looking for. And I think when you look at any investment, being stock, being real estate, the true question is what kind of risk level you're willing to take. Obviously, if you look at the local market, the UAE market, in the past few years, it's been massive growth from a real estate point of view. But we've all seen what happens once the music stops. The market has dropped anywhere from 50 to 70% in the local market, but it also went up hundreds of percentages. If you look at the U.S. market today, as a comparison, you're looking at a market that declined only 25 to 30%. Now, when you look at the risk-reward levels, in today's economy, a lot of people think that let's put money in safe cities, being it London, New York. Some people think of Los Angeles, because there's a real, true reason for people to be there. You're still going to get lower returns on your real estate in New York than you're going to get in some other parts of the world, but the risk is substantially lower. You're operating in a market where you know the rules, you know what you're going to get, you have this substantial history of data, so it's a much easier decision, and you're going to sleep better at night probably if you put your money in safe places like New York, but there's still going to be some serious market declines there. So it's not just let's get on a plane to New York tomorrow and buy some property. That would be quite a mistake. And when you look at the local markets here in the UAE, it depends what you invest in. I think that there's huge potential in Dubai, for instance. In specific markets, you can't look at Dubai as one whole market. There's areas, there are neighborhoods. I mean, if you look at Dubai, you look at the Dubai Marina, or you look at which is a truly established neighborhood today, or you look at downtown Burj Dubai, which, looking good. I mean, every time I come here, I spend 2 weeks here, 2 weeks in New York. Every time I come, I see more and more development happening, and it's getting structure of a real neighborhood. I think that locally we're going to see some differentiation between locations within Dubai, if we want to talk about specific markets. I think that the fact that the market here has dropped so much probably provides quite an interesting opportunity on the long run. Because you are probably much closer to a bottom, not yet, but closer to a bottom in Dubai than you are in other markets. We operate in 20 markets, New York being the most solid market, obviously some of the Middle Eastern markets, the most kind of vulnerable markets.
Looking at some of the other name sections here in Dubai, what about Palm Jumeirah? Is Palm Jumeirah now selling at the price that it should be, or is it still going to drop?
Well, the price it should be is what somebody's willing to pay, and there's a supply and demand issue. We always had the problem that there was all this demand and no supply. The problem with demand was not real demand, because people were buying paper. And I think that what we're seeing here is the UAE is becoming a mature market. They understand that real estate means real. The first word
physical
is real.
Things,
it's a physical piece of there's walls, there's kitchens, there's bathroom, there's land. New concept for some here, but truly something that people must understand, that now they're buying a piece of property that somebody needs to live in there, somebody needs to use. They're not trading paper. The Palm Jumeirah, we're going to see what happens in the next few months. It's hard to say really where prices are going. I understand from speaking to some local people here that some transactions are happening, but at very small volumes, which means it's still hard to determine a market. I think that it's still going to take time till we hit the bottom, including there. The good thing about Palm Jumeirah is that it's waterfront, and in general, if you look at what makes property valuable, location is one, and the best locations are normally all over the world are waterfront locations that are in front of parks. I mean, New York is Central Park, London is Hyde Park, obviously. Ease to transportation. So if it's the metro, if it's the subway, if it's the bus system, and ease to convenience of services. So the supermarkets, restaurants, and things like that. Palm Jumeirah has obviously waterfront, which is a huge advantage. And as a lot of the other projects are being canceled, all of a sudden waterfront is going to be more and more valuable in this region, because there aren't another 20 new developments announced this morning about more waterfront properties being built. So I think it'll take time for it to level off, but eventually we're going to see stabilization there when people start moving into those houses. But it is a matter of probably a few years, not a few weeks, days, or months.
You said you have offices in New York and in Dubai. How long have you been coming to Dubai?
We've been in Dubai since '07.
Ah, okay,
So for the past
years.
few years, past 2-3 years, we've been operating here.
You came in at the top, and then you saw the...
We came in probably a little bit before it topped, and we've seen the collapse. And for us, it's becoming a normal market. When you walk into a market and everything sells, and like I said, I used to spend two weeks here and 2 weeks in New York. Every time I used to come here, the price of the same property went up. It doesn't matter if it sold or didn't sell. They would just raise the price. So if something was 2 million dirhams, when I came back, it was 2.5 million. Why? Because the market went up on everything. It's these things that don't necessarily always make sense. And I think that for us, we always say that our value, because what we do is we do marketing and sales for new development, our value comes in when there's talent needed. There wasn't too much talent needed in the past few years here to sell property, because all you really needed to do is take orders and collect checks. You know,
get a mock-up and some renderings. Yeah.
I mean, when we launched our first project here, which was in Abu Dhabi, we were selling property at the highest dollar per square foot at the fastest pace in the region, so at over $2,200 a foot, because we've created value in the project, and the project is still selling well. What needs to be understood is that the market, this market, is going to become a mature market, and a mature market means people will pay for good product, and people will not pay for bad product. And it's a big word, or no product. You know, the no product, hopefully, you know, people understood already that those things won't make sense.
Are you satisfied with the level of financing available here?
I mean, you know, obviously the answer is no, but, you know, it's funny because there was never financing here. Financing is a foreign word in the Dubai market.
Mortgages too, yeah.
And mortgages too, but now, all of a sudden, Dubai is with the rest of the world because there's no financing anywhere. So there's no financing in the U.S., there's no financing in Europe, and there's no financing in the Middle East. So now, you know, the playing field has leveled, ironically. I think that obviously there is a need, there will be a need for financing to come to market here. I think mortgages are crucial. Without a true mortgage market, and not a subsidized mortgage market, but a true mortgage market, we're not going to see real recovery here, because there needs to be credit in order for people to buy real estate. You're not going to see people buying at 100% cash anymore. A, because they got burnt. B, because they don't have the same amount of money. So it's very important that there will be credit in this market. But for credit, there also needs to be a true way to evaluate people's credit, which does not exist here. So, you know, there's kind of the chicken and the egg story. What do you do first? Do you give people money, and then they default, and then you don't give them money? Or you try to find some kind of way to establish what one's credit is worth?
Do you still think it's worthwhile for the foreseeable few months to spend 2 weeks here and 2 weeks in New York?
Well, I spend, you know, again, I spend time all over the world. I've spent a lot of time here because this was a good transportation hub to go anywhere else. We work in Seychelles and Mauritius and India, and flying to Dubai is always a pleasure. Emirates Airlines I can never complain about because it's really one of my favorites. So coming here is always fun, and I personally do love Dubai. I think it makes sense to come here for 2 reasons. A, there's the will to do business here, and in the region in general. There's much stronger will here to do business, which means in the U.S. people want to do business, but they're in a much slower pace. The UAE people want to do business, but they're pushing much harder. Not that I think right now is the right time to buy real estate anywhere, but part of what we're doing right now is we've been asked by a lot of different people within the Middle East to help them invest money in New York, because again, it seems like a very viable market and a very opportunistic market right now. you know, and we're doing that in a fund structure. So I am going to spend some time here meeting with people and seeing what you know, really valuing the opportunities, what's here and who really wants to go to New York and who understands the market, with understanding that it's a long-term play, which real estate should always be. So.